Great, everybody. I want to thank you for tuning in. I know it's midday. We normally do these things in the evening so we can reach more notaries, but we've got a lot of events today. I want to welcome Katie from Blue Notary. And Katie, the reason I didn't say your last name is I can read it, I can see it, but I am totally afraid that I'm going to botch it. So if you wouldn't mind, could you pronounce your last name for everybody?
Yeah. So the last name is Tremulous.
Tremulous. Okay, so
Yeah.
Katie Tremulous from Blue Notary. Katie and I actually did an interview that together that is on the Blue Notary YouTube page.
Mhm.
We did a while back, and honestly, I just love the filter that you guys used for me on that. It made me look amazing because I keep looking at it going, "Who is that guy?" So thank you for that. But today's meeting, guys, is something that I think that all notaries need to um, be in tune with. And this is not just for Ron notaries, okay? This is actually for all notaries. And if you haven't heard of Calendly, it's a very important tool, whether you're out in the field and you're a traditional notary doing paper signings, or you are a notary that's moving into Ron. This is going to be kind of a two-part session. Katie is definitely a Blue Notary expert. She,
Thank you.
she's very helpful to the Blue Notary team, and she actually has done videos on this that you can go back and watch as well. But she's offered to come in for our community and show how we make that calendar connection for our Ron businesses. And before we get started with a tutorial here, I want to explain to you why this is important. Okay. If you are a single notary out in the field, there is no way that you can drive your car, be in a signing, answer the phone, schedule appointments, ask the questions that you need for the appointments. Calendly allows you to customize a booking engine so that a signer can book you. Now, at Unlimited Inc., I have no qualms. You can book, give me an hour's notice. I don't care, but I'm managing thousands of notaries. You guys are generally managing yourself or a small team. And it's really hard to do everything. And you may miss bookings when you don't have a functionality where somebody can just book you for your next available time. Calendly allows you to say, I won't take bookings within 15 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, 2 weeks. It'll allow you to say, I won't take bookings for more than 2 weeks. And it syncs with your calendar so that it puts you on the calendar. And Katie, we'll have some questions for you as we go through the tutorial, but I want to start by saying this as you go into the tutorial. Um, Calendly doesn't just work for raw notaries, but we're going to have a big conversation, a heavy conversation on that. But I want you to know that what we're teaching you works for you, whether you're a traditional notary or a raw notary. So, Miss Katie, I'm going to turn everything over to you. If you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself again with what you do at Blue Notary and about your notary business, and then we can move into the tutorial.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Katie Tremis. I am the Notary Relations Director for Blue Notary. I also own my own business as Notary SWFL, and that's originally how I started. I started out as a mobile loan signing agent, and then once I found out about remote online notarization, I made the leap. So it has been a steep learning curve as to how to kind of structure the business as one person trying to do all of these different things as far as having so many hats. So Ronnie was right. It would be perfect for if you did have both the mobile and the remote, just so that when you are working directly with these different business partners, if let's say you have a loan signing and it comes into your email, you would be able to give them your Calendly link, and then they can give the Calendly link to the signers. So it takes away the headache of coordinating with the signers saying, oh, can you do it this day or this day or this time or this time? So they can just book you. And then when you set it up with Calendly, it gives you different rules that you can set up. So, I'm not available from Wednesday to 12 to 2, or, you have to have 24 hours in advance in order for you to book with me. So there's different little rules that kind of structure how you would want to structure your business, but that's essentially what that is there for. So it's basically having a scheduling assistant kind of, you just have to set it up.
And Miss Kitty, for the integration with Blue Notary,
Mhm.
I want to ask this right at the beginning. I know you're going to show us how this does. It actually, so if a signer books you as a remote online notary through Calendly, it actually puts that on your calendar for you. Does it
Yes.
also send the session ID and the invitation to the signers so that they can
Yeah.
into their session at the time?
Yes, yes. So if you, let's say I'm signer and I am booking you, Ronnie, and I set it up for tomorrow at 12 o'clock, you will get both an email saying that I booked you through Calendly to probably your Gmail or wherever you set it up. And then also it takes a little bit to populate, so it's not immediate, but in your Blue Notary journal, you'll be able to see that that is populating for you. So it'll generate the invitation if you have it set up so that these workflows within the Calendly automatically populate once you do once they book with you. So like, let's say I book with you and then you set it up that an hour afterwards, I get instructions straight to me. That will happen. So I recommend that just as a Ron to set it up so that you can get the sign on instructions. And then there's also a couple different workflows that I would kind of recommend. The hour reminder, it can set up text messages. And then also at the end, after the signing, you can do it where it does a review. So you can set it up so that it'll ask for a review to the signers. So it's it's pretty comprehensive as far as everything that you would need. But it really is like having your own built-in scheduling system or scheduling assistant. Yeah, but it integrates with Blue Notary, so that way you kind of don't have to deal with the back and forth between the signers. And then the other thing that I've noticed is that the signers kind of like it better because instead of having to talk to someone to schedule everything, they can just see the whole entire, when you're available and then just pick according to their schedule.
Wonderful.
So.
Now, I can see this being very, very beneficial. Currently at Unlimited Ink Notary and all of the Notary Stars and Online Notaries Public members, we are sending out around, I think it's somewhere between 200 to 300 Ron signings. They're just single documents and they all come out TBD. You can use this tool in your text message. So there's a couple of things you can do with Calendly. You can put it on your website. You can put a direct link to the Calendly in a text message. And you can also put it in your emails, right? So you can use it in a lot of ways. So as you're doing these TBD orders, because the TBD orders we have they're not required, they're not like title and escrow, they're completely different type of client. The notaries that are doing RONs, instead of calling and texting and waiting, you can literally just put this into your call confirmations, your emails, come up with a template and kind of streamline your business in order to just schedule that appointment. And then when it gets scheduled, all you have to do is update signing order. So this helps save you time, in the long run. But we're not just talking about Ron here today, but we are going to talk about how this can, help you streamline, help make sure you get more appointments, and also for traditional signings as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I would kind of recommend is setting it up. So you can set it up as a Gmail, where they have like an automatic thing that like as soon as you get a booking, you can send it right to them with the Calendly link. Or what I like to also do, and I'm trying to integrate it more with my business partners, is to have the business partners send your Calendly link just automatically. Like I'm making up little templates for my title companies to send stuff to the signers and then just CC me. So that's kind of the workaround and everything that I'm trying to do just to cut down on my own time for my sanity. So I think that it's super useful just in general for everything. And it also syncs with your Google Calendar. So if that's something that you wanted to do. So there's other integrations with Calendly too. I just haven't delved too much into it. So let me know. Did you want me to share my screen and that way I can kind of go over?
Yes, we can't wait.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. I wasn't sure. Okay, so I'm going to share my whole entire screen and let me know. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the generic. This is what you would see when you sign up to Calendly. And then it's pretty easy. What you would do is go over to integrations. And then what you want to do is basically put the webhook into your Blue Notary account. So you want to go down to where it says API and webhooks. And then you can see that I already have one right here, but you would generate a new token. And so let's say we're going to call it Blue Notary 2.0. Okay, we're going to create that token. Okay, you would enter the two-factor authentication, and then it will give you a code. Let me just see what my authentication code is. Sorry about this. So it's 913478. Okay, so what you would do is copy your token right here, and then go over to your Blue Notary dashboard. So this is obviously our mock notarization dashboard, but you would go over here to settings, and then scroll all the way down to where it says connect your Calendly account. So after, sorry, let me just move this. So if you need some step-by-steps, it is right here, but otherwise you would just paste it right in there. It's going to ask, are you sure? And then you hit save right here. So you would be able to unlink it in case you ever had any changes or anything like that, but you would use a specific token for each one. So that way it's logged into your Blue Notary account. So that way once someone goes through your link, it automatically integrates all the way in there. And then also you can connect your Google Calendar, which we didn't really talk about, but that is something that is another option.
Okay. And just down below that, we see that connect Google Calendar. You may not be able to share that kind of information, but can you give us a little bit of how you connected it? Do you have like a little bit of what you do to do that step, or is it just simply sign in with Google?
Yeah, so that's super simple. All you would do is you would click sign in with Google and then sign in with whatever Google email that you would want, and then it syncs up together. So then once your Calendly is booked, you will be able to see it on your Google Calendar as well. And so you can do it so that your Calendly kind of talks to your Google, and then it won't let you book things if there's conflicts. So it really is pretty comprehensive, and it's really nice because I mean I use my Google Calendar for pretty much my whole entire life, so it is nice to have these different things kind of talk to each other.
Now, one thing that I'm curious about, because we're running tests on these for websites that we're building in my marketing class, one thing that I'm curious about is I know that Blue Notary has a customization for an email that you can send to the signer, like you can customize that, invite the signer.
Yes.
Now, when they book through Calendly, I know you can create an email from Calendly that goes to them. Do they get two emails when they book?
Yes. Yes, because Blue Notary will send over the invitation. So it's what you would normally see when you first initiate a signing, and then you would have to set it up within your Calendly account for those workflows. So if you want, I can show you real quick, but it's over here. Oh, let me move you guys a little bit. So let me go to home and workflows. So you can set it up that you know, you email a reminder to the host, an email reminder to the invitee. It is a little bit extra for Calendly. I think it's $15 a month, but I think it's worth it just so that you know, you don't have to really send out those emails, and then also it'll send out a thank you email. So it has a ton of different things for you to kind of do. And then that, I believe, is the one that has the paid version, but that's up to your discretion.
And are you able to bill customers ahead of time using the Calendly feature?
Not with the Calendly feature, but you can we have our own invoicing feature. So over on Blue Notary, you can manage and then send over the invoices prior. But I don't know, you would have to see about integrations and see if that is something that kind of goes together, because let's see. I don't see that it has, oh, well, okay. So if you do PayPal or Stripe, so yes, you can probably set it up so that that is something that you don't really have to, that's an interesting concept. I didn't think about that.
Well, I bring this up because as I'm building and what prompted this entire, wanting to do this is,
Mhm.
as you guys know, I do tons of marketing and we are working. And for the first time this week, I've created these landing pages. I've created, how to bring in. And the first time this week, I was walking in from my morning walk and the phone rang and it was a bank manager who needed to get a document notarized online. They said, can you do it right now? And they had already been through the website. Now I haven't integrated Calendly for our team yet, because we always use Jotform and then we send out the order. But Ron, I've started to notice that people generally like, okay, can we do it now? Because they're also being trained by other websites such as Notarize, book, come on, book now. Blue Notary also has an open call. And I want notaries to understand that, they need to be a part of this. Hey, book it now. They need to have this ability, because when a customer starts looking to contact you, if you already have this book now feature or a link that says, oh yeah, I can take your appointment, here's how to do it. Now, when it comes to billing, I want notaries to be very careful. Okay. And this is some marketing advice to build up your book of business. I believe that if you know, like if you have dead set rates, like this is what we're going to charge, title and escrow are never going to pay you upfront for a closing. So if for Calendly, you may want to create one event where they say, this is a title closing, and that you're going to get paid after the close of escrow, so they can book you through there, and do it. And I know notaries that do get booked by title and escrow through their Calendly links. But if you are working with the general public, sometimes you don't know if they had one notarization or two notarizations, or they don't even know because they're the general public. It's not their job to look down and see notarial certificates and how much this is going to cost. So with the general public, you may want to go easy into building a following that uses you before you start billing up front, so that you can kind of create a book of business for yourself and have people coming back, and then move to a model where you just bill up front, when you're busy all day long.
That's a good idea. As far as everything, for the billing upfront and everything.
We do have a question in the gallery here. Are you at a point where we can ask you a question?
Yep. Do you want me to, did you, I'm gonna stop sharing unless, well, let's hear the question and then we'll go from there.
There we go. This is coming from Christopher out of Virginia.
Hi.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So my question is, in Calendly, you can set up different appointments. And so, for example, if I'm doing a mobile notary, I'm going to need more time than if I'm doing a raw notary. How can we tell Blue Notary which event we want to be associated with Blue Notary?
So when you use the integration for the account type, or when you use the webhook, it'll ask you for, and I don't know that I showed it, but if you go on to this one, the Calendly integration, it goes a little bit more into it, but it'll have you choose which basically session you want it to go to. So I have one where it's a one-on-one, and then it's also a virtual meeting. So you would choose like the virtual meeting to integrate into the Blue Notary webhook.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you for that question. We have another one from Jacob out of Texas.
Oh, can't hear you yet.
All right, sorry about that, microphone issues. But I am an on-demand notary with Notarize/Proof.
Mhm.
And I love the platform. The only thing that I really don't like about it is that whenever I'm doing a RON signing, it charges me $10 for the first seal and then $3 each additional seal. So I was
Mhm.
first wondering, what is Blue Notary's kind of rate for that? And second, just overall, generally, what is Blue Notary like if I'm the notary?
Um, so we do have a fee schedule, so that way you can kind of see what you will get paid out. And I can pull that up really quickly, but it's just going to be under Blue Notary fee schedule. Let me see if it just hopefully pops up. Yes. So this will kind of tell you, and I can put this in our chat. This will tell you basically all of the different things that you will get charged. And then also how much you will get paid out if you are using the open call program. I do want to put the little caveat out there just in case that we can't guarantee our open call program. It's always supply and demand. So that is my little disclaimer, but that is there. So we have the fees for everything if you wanted to kind of look into it. And I'm sorry, what did you, what I generally think of Blue Notary. I'm still a notary. And I think that our platform is probably the easiest to use for both the signer and the notary. I've used a good amount of different platforms, and I still think that we are the most dynamic as far as we really care about the user experience, and then we also take the feedback from the user, like the clients, and then also the notaries. So if you have looked at Blue Notary in the past, chances are it's probably not the same because we have improved it since then. So I invite you to check it out. We do have a free version too, so you'll be able to kind of fiddle around and see if that's something that would be the right fit for you.
And if you don't mind me just kind of furthering that along, first of all, I don't get any kind of compensation for discussing RON platforms. This is something that we do at Notary Stars in order to help educate the community. I do want to say that when Katie said that they are taking feedback into consideration, I have seen very few RON platforms, maybe 1 to 3, that actually seem to be living like a living, growing program. Whereas a lot of them just see like, here's our product, this is how it's going to work forever. We'll make the updates. We're not really listening. I do feel that they are doing it. Now, this is not a Blue Notary commercial. This is just a feature of Blue Notary that is not offered at other RON platforms with this Calendly integration. And it's also a part of a bigger conversation of how to secure more bookings as a notary using this Calendly integration feature. So I just wanted to let you guys know also, and I hope this isn't a problem, please don't change it, Katie, but if you are a RON notary, I find that compared to a lot of platforms, you are able to make a little bit more, and a little bit more adds up when you're processing through Blue Notary. For instance, if you, and two things on this, you're able to make a little bit more. So let's say you have a seller file, but that seller file only has one single notarization in it. It would be $25 if you mark it as a seller file, but they give you, let's say you had one that had 30 notarizations and that you only paid $25. That's a great fee. But if it only has one notarization, you can mark it as general notary work, and you're only going to pay $3 to process that transaction. So you're keeping whatever you're billing the client. Now, disclaimer, if you are signing up with the free version, because this did happen to us at Unlimited Ink, if you are working with title and escrow, you cannot use the free version of Blue Notary unless the signer has brought you the documents and they're uploading them and they're returning them to title. And do not try to do workarounds, because you will cause a problem with title and escrow. When you use the free version of Blue Notary, you do not get a copy of the PDF that you notarize. It goes to the signers. That means you are unable to retrieve it. When a person's going through title and escrow for a RON transaction, they are paying out of their settlement statement closing for the notary services. So if somebody brings you, sure, you could use the free version because you don't need to return that to a title company and title told them to get your own notary. However, if a title company or a signing service offers you, you are not able to use the free version of Blue Notary because you cannot retrieve the documents to return them to the party that needs them, and you're going to get in trouble because you billed the client when they're already being billed. So you can't bill outside of escrow if you're working with a signing service or a title company. Just needed to make that disclaimer, but there's a great benefit when you are on the Pro Hybrid, which I think is like $27 a month, very low cost. And then the money that you make back just on one notarization would cover the cost of that platform. Whereas, you know, literally one notarization is $22 in your pocket. So that's if you just do a single document on general notary work, you can't beat that price. I had to go down that road. We are about midway through this, so I want to ask if there's any more questions on Calendly, because there's some things that I want to talk about as well in the second half of this meeting that I think are really important and why we're even having this discussion in the first place. So we'll give it just a second to see if anybody has any questions on Calendly integrations. Okay, there we go. We have Roz, if you want to ask your question.
Yes, I thought I figured it out. Hello. I have Calendly and I'm a pro member of Blue Notary, but I guess I missed the first half of the instructions. I see the settings, but I have Android phone. It's just not connecting. Maybe.
I can send you, I'll send you the login or the here, let me send this. This is the YouTube on how to get everything kind of set up, so it walks you through it. And then I'm also about to make an article that I can link within, let me see if I already have it there. No, but I'm going to make an article that will also be on the bottom of the Calendly integration YouTube tutorial. So that way it'll have like a step-by-step. I've already done it. I just haven't put it onto our website yet. So it'll have a step-by-step on how to kind of do both things. So
awesome. And then Kate, we have a great question in the chat. I know we have a lot of dual commission notaries, and especially raw notaries who live in bordering states, be dual commissioned, you know, as notaries, and then they get the bond commission. So we have a question that says, I am a dual commission notary. Would I have to sign up with Blue Notary under 2 different profiles for each state? Also, would I be able to set up Calendly for both states under my profile?
You know, that's a good question. For this one, I would probably reach out to the help desk, because the last time that I saw that, yes, we do support it, but I know that there's a trick that you have to do, and I don't really remember, because usually when you have the commission, it's a different number. So I almost want to say that yes, you can, that is supported, but I don't know if you have to make 2 separate accounts, or you just have to remember to change your commission information each time. So reach out to the help desk, and then they'll be able to give you the most up-to-date information. I'm just not exactly sure. And then as far as the Calendly, you should be able to set it up regardless. I would probably set it up under 2 separate signings. And then just kind of send it that way, but reach out to the help desk on the Blue Notary page. It's right over on the bottom right, and just kind of ask them, because I'm not exactly sure and I don't want to give you the wrong answer. And then Roz, for the desktop only, yes, or you can use iPads. So we're iPad friendly for our notaries, so you'll be able to sign on through there. Now the signers can do pretty much any device that they want, but for the notaries, you have to either be on your laptop, a PC, or a tablet.
Okay, I'm gonna start talking about why we're having this conversation, you know, because I don't want everybody to feel that this is just about raw notaries. Okay, this is about capturing your clients any way you can. We are, we are all in a position right now where we hold on, I'm just trying to pin Katie back up because she's a guest here. Let's see, there we go. We are all still trying to capture our clients the best we can. So when you're out in the field as a notary, whether you're a raw notary or not, let's just take scenario one. You're a raw notary, that's all you want to do. You're on a call, you're in a session, someone's calling, you set up your voicemails, you set up your reply text messages. I'm currently in a session. If you'd like to schedule with me, here's the link where you can schedule a session. You schedule your website this way so that you're directing your clients to go ahead and complete that booking. You set up those Calendly with a journey of all the information you would need to ask them. And Calendly allows you to ask questions like, will you have an ID, this type of ID? You can put it in your confirmation emails. I believe Calendly even has a feature where your customers can cancel with you should they not be able to, follow through, or they didn't meet the criteria that you put in those welcome emails. These are things that we use at Unlimited Ink Notary consistently to keep things moving a little bit faster. Earlier in this session, if you weren't here, we talked about the RON signings that we go out. We have 200 TBDs, and I know my notaries spend a lot of time trying to calendar appointments with signers. So if you have TBD appointments, you can send a quick text message. Hi, this is Ronnie, your notary. I have a Calendly where you can book your time with you. I already know the location. All you need to do is choose the time. You can focus on your job. You're going to need about 3 places for this to really work on your web. Well, you can use any of the places. Okay, so if you don't have a website yet, you can build one. But you can put it in your Google My Business. You can put it on your website. You can put it in your save it as a link on your phone, just directly to the Calendly. However you want to direct people to that booking page. Little marketing tip: if you have a website, you would want to embed the Calendly on your website, and here's why. Google really likes it every time your website is visited. It counts toward positive SEO. So the more people come and click around on your website to schedule, the better. So you may want to have just a specific page that people book on, that you set up the booking and they're about to book, that you would reply with to go to your website, because you're going to get that SEO value. The more people who go to your website, if you direct them to your Google My Business or your Facebook, it's never going to help your website. So you always want to find a way to have people go to your website to retrieve the information for these review links that you guys send out. It is another marketing tip. Make a review page on your website and say, would you like to leave me a review? Make it all about like, thank you for working with me. Make it a hidden page on your website. Send it to every client that you leave and say, here are my 5 places that you can leave me a review. That gives them a choice of whichever one. Not everybody has a Google email address to leave a Google review. Some people don't want to go onto Facebook to leave a review. Some people don't want to come to Notary Stars to leave a review. So you can put all those places and give them a choice. And I say list them in the order that you would like to have them the most. That would always be Google My Business. I wish it was Notary Stars, but it's not. You can say, hey, these are the 5 places that you can leave me a review. But you want to embed that into your place. Now, here's why we're having this conversation, because I want to show you guys something. And if you're not aware of what dynamic pages are, I'm going to give you an example and show you exactly how this works. If you are in any sort of major population right now, Notarize.com has built a page that is in your backyard taking your business. Okay. And guess what? They didn't build 44,000 zip code web pages. They built one page, and it's called a dynamic web page. So I just did a little search here. I'm going to share my screen. I did a little search here on Google, and we're just going to open up a few web pages here. This is Notarize's webpage for Phoenix, Arizona. And you'll notice this URL up here. I think we can do it like this and just change it. You'll notice that this page magically changed to geared toward Tucson. Every single one of these pages are geared toward taking your business, whether you are in a RON state or not in a RON state. You can go out and Google after watching this, or come back if you're watching the replay. Go out and Google notary near me, and you'll find that Notarize and Blue Notary are performing proper search engine optimization. What does this mean for you as a notary community? It means that you are going to have to be stronger on marketing. And here's the one thing that both of these platforms, and I'm not saying anything about that about Blue Notary, because I feel that they're not as aggressive with the marketing as Notarize. Try to keep it that way. I feel like they're more notary friendly, offering more for the notaries, giving them more, taking less from them, giving them an opportunity. But this does mean that as a collective group of notaries, you guys are going to have to learn how to manipulate the internet. Calendly links can be put into Nextdoor. Nextdoor is really good for SEO if you fill it out properly. And I do teach that in my marketing class. Facebook pages. Everything is Facebook marketplace is now being sent out into search engines. You have to go through all of these channels. And I hear all the time, well, I don't want to be on this. I don't want to be on that. Well, you're going to not want to be in the game eventually, because the way people find notaries, other than signing services, is they go straight to Google and they type in notary near me. And I know that a lot of people think that, and I just want to show you an example here again. So let's do, this is not staged. You can go to Google and do this yourself. So if I type in Phoenix jail notary, which is what a user might type in, this is the first page of Google. This is Unlimited Ink, Notary Stars. Also my website, you'll see the Unlimited Ink Notary. One of the students in my course, same student in my course, all dominating the first page of Google, okay? That is not that hard. That web page took about 20 minutes, and that's just if you're looking for jail. If you're looking for a hospital, almost every single one of my students in my marketing course that is put employed has their web page up, and it's working for them, and they're starting to get traction, and they're on the first page of Google. Now, I've been around for a long time creating pages, so I have thousands of them. And what I'm telling you is this little trick of learning how to build that web page with dynamic text. There's really nobody out there teaching this but me, and I'm teaching it in my marketing course. And yes, I'm plugging it because I'm telling you guys, this is how you're going to compete in the future. You are going to need to have a web page, and I don't mean one of them. You're going to need to have a really good dynamic page in every major population in the US. I got a little crazy when I first started doing dynamic pages. I was like, I'm going to put 44,000 zip codes out in the US. Let me explain. Google doesn't work that way. I got a lot of the BFE, if you know what that stands for. I got a lot of those pages indexed right away, because Google's like, oh, we don't have any notary information in the middle of nowhere because no one is out there. So I took those pages first, indexed thousands of them, and then it was harder to index the city. So I started something with my marketing students called the Zip Code Project, where we're starting with the highest populated zip codes. All we did was go to the USPS. We downloaded every zip code in America by state, because you're gonna have to do this 50 times. You build one page for each state. You learn how to dynamically create that page, which is not that hard, but it's not that easy either. But I want you guys to know that you're going to need to learn how to do this. And if you are a raw notary, which whether you like it or not, eventually you are going to have to be in that boat. I may have some California notaries on this call, and I want to explain. I'm teaching my marketing students now out of California how to build dynamic pages. Even though they cannot conduct Ron, they can take a commission off of getting that business for another notary. So as this gets out, you guys are going to have to learn how to do this. And I will tell you, it's not that hard, but if you don't get on board of this now, you're going to miss out on business. It's just going to be fact. There are companies like Notarize and Blue Notary that are coming up, and they are just offering click here and there's the notary. You have an opportunity now, and I will tell you, this is my claim to fame. Before before I got all of my certifications with Wix.com, which is the program I teach you how to do this on, I owned a vacation rental company. And if you go out and Google it, yes, it went bankrupt because they passed a law in Los Angeles that said it was illegal. And I had been doing it for a decade and had 500 homes that I was managing. And overnight, they came and shut down my office and was like, can't do this anymore. You can still have single ones there, but you can't manage 500 vacation homes. So if you go Google it, it did go under. But while I was running that vacation rental company, I got really great at SEO because I did not want to pay Booking.com, Expedia, Airbnb. I did not want to pay those companies 20 to 45%. If you want to know where your vacation dollars are going, do not book for those sites. Look for the hotels and book direct, because when you get a deal on those sites, that's why you don't have fresh towels or a clean room, because those companies are crooks. I did not want to pay them, just like I opened a signing service because I didn't want to have anybody take money from me. Right now, well, my claim to fame, I went on this one night. I got an invitation from Booking.com and they gave me this ginormous Visa card, gift card for coming, and it was this cruise, and they took us out all night off of Long Beach, all the liquor we could drink. But before we could get off that boat, they took us into a white room like we were lab rats, and it was me and 8 other hoteliers, and they literally put up a whiteboard in the room, and they were like, here's some cards. We want to know what you think is more important on your website, what you were doing. And I remember standing there next to the guy next to me, and I looked at him and I said, we know something they don't know, and they're trying to figure it out. And sure enough, they were trying to figure out what we knew, why we were beating them. If I could beat a company like Booking.com, if I can get my little signing service to come up before the actual jail, the hospitals, everything, every single one of you can do it. Okay, I do not think that there's not a person out there that's not capable of learning to build a web page, to learn how to make that page dynamic and take back their business and at least be an option. And for those of you that say, well, I have Google My Business, it always comes up first. It only comes out first in your area. There is no such thing as SEO for Google My Business. Keywords do help a little bit, but not that much. Google loves Google, so it's always going to come up when the customer is close to that location or in the service area. But I want to explain to you how Google My Business works. So let me pull this up here. Gotta spell things right. So I'm performing a search here for hospital notarization here. So here's another example. Someone right now is paying that. You'll see each above one of these websites, it says sponsored. That's Ray's Mobile Notary. You guys may know him. He runs tons of ads in everyone's area, and that's great. I'm not paying for an ad, and I am the first when somebody Googles. So when Ray's Mobile Notary and this person runs out of Google ad payments, I am the third person on the Rolodex. Now, let's just say that this was Google My Business that came up, which is down here. You can beat Google My Business, okay? There is no better feeling. You see this, these are the Google My Business listings. All these people that have all these reviews don't matter, because outside of anybody who's paying money to beat my website, I am number one. And that page took me about 30 minutes on a Saturday to make. 30 minutes of my time, and I get almost all the hospital bookings in Arizona. And I'm ambitious. I have other cities that I work in. You definitely don't want me marketing in your city without you marketing, because then you'll be working for me. And I just to tell you, I say that with a smile on my face, because I don't want to work for anybody else. And I know that you guys probably don't either. I don't want you to work for me either. I would love to be friendly competitors, and that's it. But I want you guys to know that the whole reason for today to bring up Calendly as a tool is because this is the time, guys, that you have to learn to start taking back your business. We are no longer competing with signing services. We are competing with large remote online notary communities. Okay, and they're you know, it's a free market. They can have it, but you guys, you know how much I love this community, how much I love this. I am already positioning my company. We already have a client putting in 200, 300 RONs a month. Imagine if a client said, you know what, I have 50 things I have to do every month, and you could charge them $50 each one. You'd be so happy. all you have to do is make a little bit of effort when it comes to making the dynamic pages. So I'd like to invite you, now that you've seen how dynamic pages work and understand that someone's already in your backyard and they're going to be more of them. It's not going to be just Notarize or Blue Notary. All of these Ron companies you guys have seen in the last 2-3 years, one after the other, start appearing. And I get phone calls all the time as a signing service from platforms I've never heard of asking me, would we like to try it or do things. There's still things that haven't hit the notary market yet. So I want to encourage you to take, the last part of this year to make a big decision on learning to market your company via the internet and understand that Google My Business is not what all the people who sell classes about it is. It is always going to come up first if no one knows how to do search engine optimization. But I will tell you, there's not a person that is on this call. If you were able to get into this Zoom meeting, if you were able to find the replay, there is not a person out there that is not confident enough to set up a Calendly and build a web page that can take their business back. Okay, and I will tell you, you will remember this if you were here today, and 5 years from now, you can't get a job because everybody's on Ron. We've got a clock that's ticking against us right now, and it will be those who really know how to market their business. Ron's never going to take over everything, right? But the general notary work, when loan signings are slow, I've had plenty of months as a notary in my 15 years where general notary work saved my life. And I mean by I was able to pay my rent. And there's no shame in saying I'm going to pivot or learn these things. In my marketing course, and this is the last time I'll mention it because I don't like to do sales and stuff, I teach you everything, but I definitely teach you how I'm marketing my business, exactly how. I use my own website in these examples. I built the entire website in front of the two that you saw in front of the class, and I use my website as an example, showing you everything I did to get to the #1 spot on Google. I really hope if you have interest in taking back your business, that you will come visit me at that class, in my marketing class. That is the Notary Star Plus marketing level. You guys never hear me say you're going to make 6 figures, you're going to make so much money, because half of it is up to you. I don't know your ambition, but if you want to know how to get to the top, I will definitely show you everything that I do to get to the top. I dominate all of Arizona, and I dominate several cities around. Some of you probably even see unlimited ink in your backyard. That's because I'm building pages and putting them into search engines, and several of my students are now learning this, and they're going to be coming into your backyard with their run. So if you want to get on board, come visit me at the marketing class. This is a pretty big topic because it's going to happen. Any questions about today? I'm gonna open up the gallery for any questions on anything that we've talked about today. Okay, quiet crowd today. Katie, I want to thank you for coming in and talking about Calendly. It is a wonderful topic to talk about why we need this as a tool to take back our business. I do believe that notaries need to have this as a tool to capture in-person signings, remote online notarizations. It's something where you don't want signings slipping past you. If you have an officer that books with you direct and you're out doing signings for other companies, this is a great way for them to just be able to pop on and book you for that signing. It's, they don't even have to call you and compare calendars. I actually used Calendly at the very beginning of Unlimited Ink. In fact, no problem. When I started with Open Door, which is our largest client, we service them all over the country. I had only started with them, the Arizona office, and we only had 8 notaries. Calendly was my first booking engine. And then just to tell you, that link that I gave those escrow officers to book myself or the other notaries around the city is why I'm even here today. It was a tool because they couldn't call Ronnie when he was in 10 signings a day to see if he had a notary available. I had all the notaries on the team there. They just had to log in. It was all synced to calendars and it would show who was available at that time and it got assigned. We evolved and moved into signing order over time, but without this little tool, I wouldn't even be sitting here in front of you today. It would be a completely different story. It was a bridge to where I needed to go. Miss Katie, thank you so much for being here today. I'd love to ask everybody to turn on your cameras. I know that some of you may be driving, but I'd love to give Katie our signature wave. I don't think you've actually been on one of our mentorship calls, have you?
Right? No, I don't think so. But is it all right if I take a picture and then put it on our social media? Is that all right?
It's going on YouTube as well, so.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm just used to asking. Okay, so I wanted to.
Come on, everybody, let's light up those cameras and let's show Miss Katie a nice smile for coming and joining us today. We want to give her our signature wave. Let her feel.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you having me on here. It's always nice to talk about anything, Ron. So.
Absolutely. And guys, also don't forget to download the chat. Miss Katie posted some links in the chat. If you don't know how to download the chat, just go over to the side of the wall here and click on the three dots and say click on the three dots and then click on save chat. I usually end every night meeting saying, well, if you're not naked, turn on your cameras and let's give our wave. But it's too early in the day for anybody to be naked. And if you are, please stay off camera. But I do want to thank you guys for coming in here and learning about Calendly and also understanding starting your journey to understanding how other companies are going to be marketing against you and how you could get a footing on them. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, my email is contact@notarystars.com. That comes directly to me. When it comes to marketing information, I'm the one that's going to answer those questions. Anybody that attended today or watches the replay, if you have questions about what we talked about today and you weren't able to get them out, please feel free to send me an email direct. 500 people email me all at once. It might take a minute, but I will get back to you. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. We'll see you again at 5 if you're interested. Notary Stars is going to be talking about health insurance for notaries, actually affordable health insurance with real healthcare providers. So if you are in a position where you need health insurance, join us again today at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks, everybody.